Harmeet Dhillon is a civil rights attorney. We're happy to have her on the show tonight. She's dealt with a lot of this stuff. In a text exchange we had a couple of hours ago, I expressed my frustration. You said, quote, "I'm not surprised at all." It seems to me we should be shocked by this. We have a right to be as American citizens. Why can't we find out? This hardly just applies to me. Why can't any American find out if some bureaucrat in a spy agency is reading your private email? It's a really simple question. Why can't we know?
Well, you should be able to find out, Tucker. And the reason I said I'm not surprised is for the last 20 years, since 9/11, I and other civil libertarians have been screaming about the Patriot Act and other laws. But dating back to 1947, our securities laws have said that the spying may only be on foreigners, not on American citizens,
Yes.
but our government regularly flouts that. I mean, you know, we have the example of James Clapper lying to Congress about spying on American citizens and gathering millions of pieces of data, phone call records, and all of that. And so when you ask why, well, of course, it's about this military-industrial complex, this security-industrial complex, and they justify the spying on Americans in the name of we're really focusing on foreigners, and the American data that we scoop up, they call that incidental. So I suspect if you're able, because you are a person with a lot of connections and this is a good platform, if you are able to find out more information about this, I think what you're going to find is that you are being described as incidental. So the gathering of your information is going to be because they're really focusing on somebody else. But I want to really break that down. When you look at the Carter Page violations, for example, the lies to the FISA court, does anybody think that the national security apparatus was trying to find out Carter Page's activities and communications? No. The trick is, if they can get a surveillance order on an individual, what they're able to do is scoop up all of the communications of all of the people who reach out to that person, text them even you know, without any predicate. And so that's really where it's at. And so that's a huge dragnet. And when Americans have become scandalized, or members of Congress are asking questions about this, there have been some reining in of these things. But now the current law is that the phone companies gather this data and they have to store it. But the NSA can go over and ask for it and go shopping in a treasure trove of billions of pieces of data anytime they want. And in fact, dating back to 2018, the NSA has looked at or had access to over 500 million records of American communications. So you're one of them, but frankly, any important person, any enemy of the state should expect that there's some way that the NSA can get a hold of somebody near you, get an order or a right to ask questions, and all of a sudden they have all that information, and a bunch of unelected, faceless bureaucrats are going shopping in your data, and then, you know, talking to the guy next door in the cubicle next door, passing it around the office,
and then
making
threatening
plans
me
of what to do with it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And threatening me, which is exactly what they did. So the system you described might work if you had patriotic, nonpartisan, non-political, duty-oriented bureaucrats who are fighting, say, a Cold War. But if you change the focus of the war on terror inward, against Americans who are disobedient or don't support the regime, by definition, you're going to have corrupt ideologues and partisans using this information against American citizens with, by the way, the help of NBC News and CNN and the entire edifice of intel-connected, totally corrupt news agencies. I mean, that's like a recipe for tyranny.
Right, and let me add a couple of things that'll not make you sleep any better, which is that when you try to go into court and challenge these, as some civil rights organizations, EFF and the American Civil Liberties Union, cases last for over a decade. The current case pending in the Ninth Circuit is called Jewel versus National Security Agency, and for the last 13 years, that case has bounced back and forth, up and down to the courts. So if you can prove that you're being spied on, which is what all of the you know, glitterati there in D.C. are mocking you for saying, you know, then the government says, well, because this is a national security issue, we can't reveal any information. We're not going to give you any information in response to subpoenas. But you usually don't get that far. They just say you can't prove it. It's anecdotes, even if you have a witness like you have. And so you have no recourse. No lawsuits against the NSA have effectively been successful in stopping the spying on a particular American citizen.
Look, I'm not, I mean, I'm just, I hate even to be put in a position where I have to say this. I'm actually not doing anything wrong, so it's not like, and if I was, you would be on the front page of the New York Times, you can be sure. But my concern is that this will be used against tens of millions of Americans who have no power whatsoever and are being reclassified as white supremacists, and therefore they're terrorists, and they're going to bear the brunt of this kind of treatment. So here are the questions that we have for the NSA, and we're going to keep pressing them on behalf of a lot of people who are going to face this kind of treatment but have no recourse. Here's the first. Does the NSA have any surveillance product on me or our producers? 2, who authorized the retention of that product? These are all terms of art. The intel community will understand what they mean. And here's the last one. What were the minimization procedures for U.S. citizens and journalists in this case? Will you explain that last one? I think this is a key. This is a key safety mechanism that's supposed to protect us from partisan lunacy, from Nakasonian people like that, but may not be. What's a minimization procedure?
Well, they're supposed to do their best to make sure that there's a screening and filtering that goes into place before this data is either, given to the NSA for use, or certainly to other agencies. I mean, and what's ironic is that the NSA may be among the good guys in our national security apparatus. The NSA doesn't like giving information to the FBI in recent years because the FBI has been blatantly abusing the information that the NSA gives it. And so in reality, these are self-policing agencies. They're secretive agencies. There is no effective oversight in Congress or in the executive branch, and they run rampant with this information and they weaponize it against American citizens. That's the truth.
That's exactly right. In fact, an NSA official just said to me on the phone, well, we're very carefully overseen by Congress. There's a lot of oversight. And since I've lived in Washington my whole life, I had to laugh because that's a lie. Whatever the NSA does, Mitch McConnell's happy with it on the right. And of course, the Democrats are more than happy to see their political enemies hassled by an intelligence agency. It's really scary. Harmeet, I appreciate your work on this issue. One of the last civil libertarians and most important left.